Well, hello there, magic monsters. How are you today? I hope you're doing as well as could possibly be imagined for a day like today. Let's see. It's Friday, 2:30 in the afternoon. I took the day off work again today, yesterday, and today. That's nice. I also have Monday off due to our president's need to be honored. Not all of them, though. Some of them were not very good. Some modern ones and some ones in the past, too. I have a feeling some of the good ones weren't that good either, if you actually knew what they did in private. But it's probably a good thing that we don't know what other people do in private. We may be very, very disappointed. So what are we doing today? Refactoring. Oh my gosh, refactoring. Refactoring. It's Refactor Friday. I got some coffee. I put new coffee. I brewed a small batch of new coffee into a pot that had cold coffee in it. So it's hot, but it's not piping hot. So it's drinkable right away. I'll tell you why it's Refactor Friday. Let me tell you why. Because last night I was refactoring. Last night I was working on... Well, we did the stream, and then I kept working later after a break. And... So I've got this going on now. We've got these bad guys here. Where are they? Oh, this one's already dead. And this one is probably already dead too, I think. Oh, no, that was the second one. So there was two dead ones, and I got a bug here. These aren't firing. Well, some of them are just not even there, so that's weird. Those pillars. But then there's two more bad guys down here. I think I made the level too big. Where are the bad guys? There they are. Here they come. And now you get surrounded.
Ouch, that hurt. Ouch, that hurt.
And you can attack them, and they won't chase you.
Ouch, that hurt. Oh no, I'm dying.
This one's still alive.
Oh no.
Now they're dead. And we picked them up. Got some gold. Got some gear too, because we're using the quest reward system in order to pass along gear and stuff. So we were doing all that. I was doing all that, and let me quickly show the quest rewards. It's very simple. We have the imp script here, and we have turn off objects and rewards on death and rewards on pickup. So there's two states, right? There's when you kill them, you get 80 experience, and when you pick them up, you get gold and death loot. These are already set up. I set these up, the management for the treasure boxes, because the treasure boxes also use, or no, the quest uses rewards. And so since we're using rewards for the enemies, it just worked, which was always great. And so we've got I refactored. Oh, look at this. See, this is part of my refactoring. I refactored this, and then I got into it, and I was like, oh, let's do more refactoring. And now I've got I did so much that I'm bound to find some bugs, right? So let's just get right into it. We have a null reference. Let's see. I'm not sure why this is null. Just by looking at it, I don't know. Available. Wait a minute. Is this even the right? This is the right one. Selected type is a string, so that shouldn't be doing anything. And available loot box types is an int. Loot box types is a string array. I do this all the time. I don't what's the array empty? New no it, empty array. What is it? Somebody knows it. Not me. I just did this last night though. So wait. I'm using it here, I'm sure. Game modules, utilities, array array.empty of type. All right, array.empty of type string, and we'll need to put in that. I think that was the issue, is that I had not created the array, so the array itself was null. That's my thinking. Is it the case? Nope. That's interesting too. Quest reward drawer editor. I did rework some things, and the problem when you do that is that it can break other things. Module scriptable objects editor. On enable, base on enable. Set up. That's fair. And quest reward drawer. New quest reward drawer. Scriptable object instances must be instantiated with scriptable object create instance instead of new. Well, this is interesting because this bug has never shown up before, but apparently, all right, let's do that then. All right, let's see if that works. I don't know what would have changed in order to make that happen. And we're still getting a null reference here. Why are we getting a null reference here? Okay, let's see. Debug.log is null. And this is a string, so yeah. But available loot box types is null. Can this be even null? Nope, it's always false. This is going to be lootbox type dot length. So really, dot length is count. All right, and let's see if either of those. I would like to have started the stream with more fun refactoring, but apparently this is saying that okay, so yeah, this is all going back to this loot box not being a thing. So we're gonna say to cache, we're gonna say make a check here. If loot box types equals null, then loot box types equals array dot empty of string type, and maybe that'll fix our woes and issues and troubles. And it didn't. Why not? All right. Let's see. Debug.log. Count is dot length is actually length, not count, but whatever. All the same among friends, right? How are you all doing today? Can you see the screen all right? Do I need to zoom in? Count is 0. Available loot box types is getting that count. Why would that be null? It's just an int. Does that make any sense? We get the null reference right here, which means this is null, but all it is an int. And we can confirm this is 0. Lootbox types.length. Well, I'm pretty sure this is actually going to be part of the refactoring we do today. So let's just do this for now, and we'll circle back. All the caching is going to be updated. That was part of my goal. All I wanted to do was show you something cool. Nope, still having issues, huh? All right, of course. Gotta change that too. My goodness gracious. Now where is it? Same spot? This is confusing me. I see. Here. I didn't notice that. Loot box type is loot box types. Loot box types is going to be this. Okay. List of strings. It's going to return cached loot box types, which is string, and I didn't make this. See, it did come back to that, didn't it? Let's find out. Let's find out. Did it come back to that? Is that why? Yep, that was why. Okay, so I have a tendency to forget to set the arrays and lists. So I'm sure I've done that in every single one of these. So another thing I want to do today is refactor these to make even more generics. I did some last night, and that will shorten up this script and reduce the repetitiveness, because it is fairly repetitive right now. But each one has slightly different things, and there are some that have more options than others. But for by and large, this portion of it is extremely repetitive and can be refactored, I believe, into using generics. So yeah, all right. So that should solve those problems. Let's go back to which script was it? This one? Was it? Which one was it? I should have closed all the other scripts. This one. All right. So we'll go back to where we were. And we will ignore that as well. All right. Perfect. All right, so the point of this, I was going to show that the rewards, I updated them a little bit, so now they be arranged. You can make it, if I did 15 and 15, then it would be 15, but you can make it a range. So in this case, gold 5 to 15 is going to give you between 5 and 15 gold. It's going to round up. You can round to a certain decimals. You can do no rounding. You can round down. But in this case, I want to give the player a nice little bonus, so round up. That's nice of me. And then similar with experience, this one 80-80, no rounding, you're just going to get 80 experience points. And then this is the loot for the imp, and it's literally just this. I think we're missing something here. There's missing an add button. I'll have to look into that. That's still probably part of the refactoring issue. Let's do that real quick since we've got it open and I'm thinking about it. So this is the item object reward. I believe it's a drawer. So it's going to be quest reward drawer editor, I believe. Let's see. And we'll look for important. There we go. You will need to do that. Show data for item object reward and vertical box. Okay, so add loot box. This is what is not working. Maybe this is also busted. Let's see, available loot box types. Okay, do cache on enable. Do cache is supposed to set that to that value. Okay. Okay. Show loot box add. Available loot box types must be over 0. Let's do a debug here. Debug.log types whatever is that. All right, let's see what we get. Types equals 0. Now that's wrong. There are loot box types, but it might not be happening here. So we're gonna see. This is part of this problem is made cache. Yeah, we need to not do the cache on draw. Instead, we just need to do the cache on enable. And when we make a change. So that's, again, part of the refactoring. Okay, let's see. It's still giving me 0. All right. Let's confirm it's doing the caching. Do cache. And it's going to be doing this. So debug.log caching, and we will then say debug.log. Loot boxes is loot box array dot length, and types is loot. Well, we can just do loot box types dot length. All right, so those are both arrays, and they ultimately come from, yeah, see, that's the issue right there. It should be more than 0. There are 7 other things. So if we go to our loot boxes, let's just confirm that they do have a type. They should. They are a game module thing, so they have types here. They are loot box quest. Quest is the type. It's the name of the thing. So that means. Oops. All right. That means that we have to figure out what is going on here. Loot box types. Recompute. Cached loot box types is that. Are we calling recompute? Nope. Well, we should call recompute. This is in the caching. In the caching, we should call recompute, right? If we're just using it, then we shouldn't have to do that. But if we're going to be doing caching, then that would imply, there we go. So now we got types. All right, so that was the issue there. Let's get rid of our debug.logs, debug.log. Caching. All right, so that's just a preview of the refactoring, and the point of the refactoring is to simplify it and make it all common so that they're all using the same sort of patterns. All right, so there we go. So now on this one, you can add any amount of different loot items, and if you look at the loot items themselves, I should put a link to that there. Let me do that real quick too while we're thinking about it. Important. Okay, so this is going to show loot boxes. And for each one is showing this. We see the X, we see the label, and then to the right of that, we're going to make an object. So we're just doing an object field. What's my object field? Object. It's not object, I don't think. Maybe it is. Oh, yeah, it is. All right, the object's going to be item object reward dot loot boxes index, and object type is loot, or type of a loot box, and I must have an issue there, and false for this allow seen objects. Is it a type of loot box, maybe like that. There we go. All right, let's see if that works. So I just want basically you can't, it doesn't set anything if you change it. So, you know, all it really is, oh, we should do a width on this and that. Label for the name, we're going to keep that to say 120. And for this one, we'll keep it maybe 100. Do I not have, oh, width has to be before that, I see. Okay, 100, and then, whoa, and then false. All right. Okay. So I just want, it's very helpful to have a clickable thing, right? So instead of just having the list there, we can click here and now be like, oh, and here it is. And this is the loot items, or rather the loot box for imp. You can create one for every enemy you have, or you can be like, oh, this is just level 1 enemies. They all have the same loot box. But as you can see here, there's a 51% chance of gain a random of these 10, and then there's a 10% chance of gain a random of these 10. If we didn't stop after the first failure, then there would be a 20% chance of getting the second one. But since we're stopping, if this one fails, then we don't get anything. So there, and you can change the curves here to adjust the percentages up there. So that's how the loot boxes work. And you can test the generate loot here too. So if it doesn't show anything, it means that it failed. If it shows something, that means it didn't fail. If it shows 2, it means that we got both things. So that's fancy little tester script so you can kind of see how it goes along. And there's no attributes on these. Yeah, so anyways, you can when you have a bad guy, you can just say, here's all your rewards for killing them. Here's all your rewards for picking up their bodies. That logic's just part of the demo scene. You can steal from it because every game's going to have different logic around loot and bad guys and all that. So, again, it's something with the game modules. You can create your game the way you want it to. The game modules just help you do it. And give you all these tools to implement the way you want to implement them. But you don't have to implement them the way that I've implemented in this demo project. All right, so let's go look into the refactoring. So we're going to start here. We're going to close all tabs to the right. This is the game modules utilities. I actually moved this away from editor utilities, partly because I wanted to use them outside of the editor, and partly because they are, oh, what's this? Statement body? What is this? It's the same thing. And partly because they are all the things that deal with the game modules objects rather than editor utilities, which had just other helpful things like the text fields and other things. So I wanted to separate those out. So game module utilities is the key there. And now the goal is to kind of bring these all into one. So we can look at the generics. I'm going to make a new header up here for myself called generics. And we have one down here that's in use, and I'm going to move it up. Where is it? Might be really, yeah, it's way down here. All right, we're going to copy and delete it, really. And then we're going to go all the way up here. So this is the one that computes the array of the types. So gets an array of all the types called for. Searches the asset database. So should only be used when caching the values. And the script does automatically cache itself. So when you call quest array, you've got the option to recompute, and if you choose to recompute, then it's going to assign the compute array of quest ordered by the type then the name to that value. Otherwise, it's going to give you back what you've already done. So whenever in your script, and this is something you might want to do in your code, if you want to get a list of all the quests, you can get that without recomputing it. But this is mostly used in the editor tools here for all these to just to drive those. And so in those tools, there's a caching method that is going to be called on enable, and that's when it will be cached. And then on specific actions, there might be a cache as well, a recache when you do certain actions in the editor script. So that's quest array. Quest types, though, this is not using anything generic yet, and I believe it might be able to. Or not really. Actually, look at this. It's calling quest array. So if I made it generic, it would basically do exactly the same thing. But it wouldn't necessarily have this recompute value. So if we're not recomputing, we're just going to get that. Otherwise, we're going to recompute it, and we're going to recompute quest array at the same time. That means in our caching methods, we actually only have to call this with recompute true to recompute both of these values at once. All right, what can we do then? Quests of type. All right, so this goes to this dictionary. So we got a dictionary here too. Of course, it's going to start empty, but if it's already there, then it's going to return the value. If it's not, then it's going to get all the quests of that type. But what we're missing here is a recompute, and that's going to be important. So bool recompute equals false. But if we're going to recompute, then there's no. Let's see. If we don't. If we don't recompute, then we can just return the value if it's already there. If we're going to recompute, then we need to not return the value that's already there. We need to replace it if it's already there. Yeah. So we're going to say, let's see, if recompute, then replace that. If we add, and I don't know this off the top of my head, if I add something of the same key, will that throw an error? Or do I need to do replace, reverse, remove, add? Yeah, I think it would throw an error. Pretty sure. So we're going to return value if not recompute, return value. Otherwise, we're going to, what are we going to do? We are going to try to get value. I don't want to try to get the value though. Shoot. Let's see. Quests of... I don't use dictionaries that often. Did you know that? And that's why I'm like, what do we do? Has key or contains key. Contains key object type. So if it contains the key on an object type, let's see, let's just do this up here. And we're recomputing. Recompute. Then we have to recompute it. Var new array equals that, and then quests of type dot object type equals that. So new array. So we can do that. We can remove new array. So if it contains the key and recompute, we're doing that. Okay, how about this? There we go. We won't do that. Var new array equals that, and then we will say if it contains the key, then we're the new array. Otherwise, we're gonna add. Okay, there we go. We're in business now. Otherwise, we're gonna do this and add a new array here. New array. All right. If we're recomputing, then we will get the array. Either way, we're going to use it. And then we're going to say if it contains the key, then we will set the new array. Else we will, else we will add the new array. And then we're going to return the new array. Because that's what we're really looking for too. So if we're recomputing, we're going to either going to update it or add it and return that value. And then otherwise, if we can just return value here, then we'll do the same thing as before. And then if we're not recomputing, then it will just, if we have it, we'll return the value. Otherwise, it will add it and return the value. This can probably be cleaned up a little bit. What does this do? What did I just do? Return new array, return new array. I like my version better. Yeah, it's that time of day where the sun gets bright outside even though the shutters are closed. Oh well. Let's see. Is that an important phone call? Probably not. It looks like it was spam, likely, along with all the other ones. All right. All right. This is again long, and I would have to repeat it over and over. So I wonder if if we can genericize this. Let's see. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to try to make it a generic. And this is going to be T then. And then T of type. We'll just say objects of type T. Object type, recompute. All right. New array is going to be a compute array. Compute array of type T. And where T equals object, we need that. So where T is actually going to be a game modules object. Does that not work? No. Let's see. If we were a quest, we would be game module scriptable object. Let's see if that works. Ah, perfect. Okay, that's what we were looking for. Okay, and then so we get the object type to array, and if quests of type. So this is where I'm not sure what to do, because we have our dictionary, which is quests of type. And it has the object type in the list of the quests of that type. And what we need is some basic generic dictionary. So we almost need a dictionary of dictionaries. We can do that. Let's give it a try, just see what happens. So the dictionary is actually going to be a dictionary of string and this dictionary. And objects of type. And then what we're really looking for is okay, so we're going to have one for each type. So the string of this type is going to be one entry in this dictionary, and then that is going to have a bunch of objects underneath it. So first we need to see if there is something in this main dictionary, objects of type, that has this thing. So var object modules object type equals t system dot type. What is the t dot type of toString? Yes. So we're going to be looking for if that dot contains key modules object type, then we're going to do something else where we'll do something else. So if it contains the key, then we're going to do this. And we will do var child dictionary equals objects of type modules object type. Yeah. And then that would be returning this. So if the child dictionary contains that, then we'd do all that. And we need to convert this. Will this give us the code? Nope. As T. No. How we cast this as a T array? Nope. What is it? Maybe T array? No. Well, what if instead of this being quest, it was module scriptable object? And then what is this? What did I just do? Not sure what that changes. Okay. Okay, so we're checking to see if the main dictionary has that. And if it does, then we are then checking to see if its value contains the actual thing we're looking for of this object type, of this game module scriptable object type. And if it does, then we're going to add this array, which is the actual stuff we're looking for. Otherwise, we will add the whole thing to the thing, dictionary. Change local type. Okay, I guess that's better. I don't know. I guess it goes either way. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but this makes it a little bit more explicit. So we'll leave it there. All right, but if the main objects of type dictionary, or the objects of type dictionary, does not contain this T type yet, then we need to add it, and then add one of these to that. So we're going to say, copy this, objects of type dot add modules object type, and I'm going to put this up there, modules object type, and this is just going to be a new of these. New. Oh, gave it to me. That's nice. And then we will say objects of type dictionary, modules objects type dot add, and then new array. Excuse me. But object type new array. All right. And that is basically doing this, the same thing, but to the one we just added. Could this be made smaller? Maybe. All right. And then, so if it contains the key, it does that. So this part is no longer being used. And then we will return cast a T. That's how you cast a T. I was close. I was very close. So cast a T, the new array. So we're going to call in, as an example, we'll call in stat. So stat array, object of type stat, of say main stats. Okay, it's a compute array of stats. Okay, and then main stats, new array will have all those objects and return all those objects of that object type. Okay, that should work. And then if we're not recomputing, so all that, and if we're not recomputing, then we have to try to get the value out. So we will say objects of type try get value. So we can actually put this a little higher then, because we're going to use it down here. Try to get that out var child dictionary. Found dictionary, we'll say. And so if we found the dictionary, then we need to basically do this again and this again. And so really, no. Wait a minute. Let's think this through. This one's getting complicated here. Excuse me. All right, I hit the mute button the second time. I apologize for the first cough. All right. So really, we should be able to just kind of, let's just ignore this for now, and we'll refactor in a second. So, okay, we're not recomputing. Did we find the dictionary? If we did, then let's find the thing we're looking for. And this is going to be a found dictionary. Try get the value, return value, and as t. If we didn't, then we have to do this and return this. So found dictionary dot add, and this is basically the new array again. But we don't want to compute this unless we have to. So we'll do that here. New array. Nope. Here, there, new array. And then return found dictionary object type and cast that as t as well. Okay. So this is what happens when we've found, we're not recomputing, but we did find it in the main dictionary. Then we look inside that child dictionary for it. Otherwise, if we have it, then we return it. Otherwise, we don't. All right, and then that if we didn't find it, then we just need to add it here. So again, we'll have to run this. Make this 3. And then we will add it. Well, actually, let's see. Okay, this means we didn't find it in the main dictionary, so we need to excuse me, add it first to the main dictionary, and that's adding this to the main dictionary. So add objects of type add the game modules object type, that. All right, and then new array 3, and then return objects of type modules object type, object type. Is it dot? What is it? Value. Oh, but we didn't even add the, yeah, we did. Let's see. So first we're adding the module type with a new dictionary. And then we're adding to that dictionary this. And so var game modules type dictionary equals that, and we say dictionary, that dictionary dot add, and return that dictionary object type, and then cast that as t, and that should do it. Oops. Now this is definitely something I think could be refactored itself. It just got really bright in here. The clouds must have moved. Yeah, because this is I'm repeating myself a few times with this whole new array thing. But I don't want to call it unless I have to call it. So let's see. So right here, this can actually go up at top because this is the easiest thing to get. We're basically saying if we have the dictionary inside the game modules of the game modules type, and we have that, then we return true. So how about we do this? We do new array equals new array array.empty, yes, modules scriptable object. So we start with a new array that's empty. Then in here we can populate that. Here we can populate that. And here we can populate that. And make this just the new array again. All right. So in both of these we use the new array. So we can now move this up here and only have that in one spot because all of these other options are taking the new array because we're either recomputing or we didn't find it, so we have to add it. And really, are we able to move this out of that as well? Because we can then say if found dictionary equals null. Well, actually, we know if it found the dictionary, then it's definitely going to return that. No. So what we would really do here is put this if found dictionary does not equal null. Then we can do that. And then we can have only new array once. All right, that's a little bit easier for my brain. All right, so let's comment this up because this is a fairly complicated stuff. Cache the string of the game modules type, stat, item, object, etc. Create an empty array to use. And in fact, you know what? This doesn't actually need to happen because we just need to do this down there. So we can say set that there. That's even better. All right. If we have the game modules type in our objects of type dictionary, and that has the object type in its child dictionary, then return that list. Also, we are not recomputing. So, oh yes, so that's important to note there. This is all supposed to happen if we're not recomputing. And not recompute. And not recompute. If we are recomputing, then we do that. Okay, then we will get the array of objects. All other options require this. Okay. Aren't recomputing, but we didn't have it already, so we have to add it. Oh yeah, so if we didn't have it, then it doesn't matter if we recompute. We need to add it. Otherwise, it's going to be a null reference. So even if we aren't recomputing, we didn't have it, so we have to add it. All right. I.e., it's the very first time it's being called. It might be empty for all we know, but really it shouldn't be actually. Okay, and then this is going to be we are recomputing. So yeah, so let's see. We've already found that if we're not recomputing, then we're going to look for it. This will be null if we are not recomputing. So yeah, good point. So found dictionary is null if we are not recomputing. Okay. If it is not, then add the new array. All right. So here's where we are recomputing for sure. We didn't get through here. This only happens if we're not recomputing. We are recomputing. And check if we have the main value and the child value. All right. And then return that. Add new array or update and return new array Okay, and then finally we weren't recomputing, and this what happens here. So this is saying we didn't find it before, we didn't recompute, so this means we didn't find the game modules type in the main dictionary, so we need to add it plus the new array to the first dictionary first entry into that new main dictionary entry, and then return it. And really, we just have to return new array. All right, so that should do it. It's mildly complex. Yes, I agree with that. And so now, instead of doing this, quests of type, we can return objects of type quest object type recompute, and that means all of these, that repetition will be cut out, and this caching will be cut out as well. So all of that went down to this one line. I like to put these down here. I guess I didn't do that up there, but all right, fine. Yeah, so that is... So the other thing I was thinking is that, if we look at the usages of this, we're going to be doing this in my largely in the editor stuff. So we're looking at, quest of type. So we could do objects of type quest, because it's the same result and it's just less things to remember. So I was thinking it might be better just to do that. And say, if you're looking for the objects of a type, do the objects of type with the quest. Because then that means this wouldn't even have to be here at all. And that would make this even shorter. Sometimes I feel it's nice to have all these options like, count the quest types that have this, count this. But it's getting very verbose. It's too much. Too many things to modify. Every time we modify we add a new thing. We add quests, we have to do all these things again. That's too much. That's what generics, I think, are very good at. I don't know, obviously they're for many things, but that's one of the things I find them to be very good at. So perhaps we should make use of them. So let's see. This is going to be an explanation of this. This dictionary caches all the objects of type based on their game modules type, i.e. the objects of type dictionary will have as the key values things like stat, item, object, quest, etc. And the value will be a dictionary that has the object type strings as key and the array of game module type objects of that object type. All right. Hopefully that's clear. Maybe it will be clear to me later. So with that in mind, we can get rid of quests of type. And for all these other ones, Blackboard values of type, we don't need that. And we don't need this item objects of type. All of these are going to throw errors real quick, so we're going to have to change those. But I believe what we can do, we'll comment this out rather than deleting it for now. And then we'll look for all the errors and we'll just change them. I don't think there's an automatic way to refactor that. So item objects of type is going to be objects of type item object. Yep. You notice all of these are not recomputing according to the signature. And these shouldn't throw any errors. But at the same time, I should probably test something that's using it, shouldn't I? Refactor Fry is off to a great start, in my opinion. All right, so let's see. We did a few things here. The item object editor change it. We have the item objects being on initial setup. So let's try that. Item object editor is going to be any one of these. Well, so far so good. Oh, here we go. All right, good. This is part of the new method, so we found something. This is saying that the value cannot be null. Did we happen to call something without an object type? Cached item object type. Debug.log is cache item type. Let's see if we can reproduce this. Aha, so it's null. So this is not an error per se with the script. It's saying basically this can't be null, and I think that's fine. In fact, we can go a step further, I think. In this context, object type can't be null. So if object type equals or string dot is null or whitespace object type, then we're going to say throw new exception. How you? Yeah, we'll just do debug.log warning. Object type provided is null or empty, and return default. So basically, the object type is required, and in this case, it's not being provided. Cached item object type apparently is not yet set, so figure out where that's being set here. Empty. Draw structure. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to say, this is going to be a temporary thing because we're going to, again, refactor all these. If string dot is null or whitespace that, then that's going to be objects. What did I call it? Because I want to do the same thing that I'm doing with the objects of type. I think we should do with the compute array. Compute array. Although that's not really going to be the case because we do the caching. And we could do another dictionary. I'll think about that. But let's just get this working first. So this is going to be item objects, item object array, true, dot actually item object types, not recomputing because we just did that, 0. Okay. So of course this would not work if there are no types. So this does need to be refactored, but I think that should solve the problem for now. Nope. 0 types. All right, so similar to the other one, we might have a similar problem where we faced this earlier, where this is not returning the right thing. It looks like. We're saying true. Let's see, close all tabs to the right. Let's get this back and get it cleaned up. Oh, this is attributes. Shoot, that's my problem. That's my fault. Wait. There's the item attribute drawer. Objects of this type. Oh, interesting. Okay. No, that was right. I think what we just need to do is do this object types, also recompute that at the same time, because the way this is working, this is actually on the IAM object, but it's showing the attributes connected to that IAM object. So both of these need to be recomputed, not just the one. Let's see, did that solve it? It did. Okay. Yeah, because this is showing, okay, this chain armor can use these prefixes and suffixes, and so it goes through that list and whatnot. Okay, that makes sense. You all with me still? Nope, that's fine. You don't have to be. Am I putting any babies to sleep? I've been known to put babies to sleep with my sultry voice. Is sultry the right word to use when putting babies to sleep? Probably not. With my smooth, soft, gentle voice. That's apparently my superpower, is putting babies to sleep during my live stream, and one adult, according to yesterday's stream. Let's see. Okay, so that's fine. We can now go back over here and finish doing. We know this is working now, or it seems to be working now. So yeah, so we'll just delete all these and refactor. This is going to have 13 issues. This is IAM attribute. So let's just clean up those as we go. This is good stuff, by the way. So this is going to be item attributes. Okay. And there's another error somewhere in this script, I think. Okay. We can get ahead of this too. Stat, condition, mastery levels. This one looks different than me, to me. Mastery levels, dictionaries. We'll have to come back to that one. Refactoring can be fun. It can be very tedious sometimes too, but I think the fun, the dopamine, really, because if we're talking about fun, it's probably talking about dopamine. The dopamine hit is from finding tricks and things to make it shorter and better and cleaner. I think that's where the fun is here, right? Because we're not just moving things around, right? We're rearranging deck chairs. We're actually making it better and making it cleaner and making it easier to use in the future. And for people who get the game modules, which I hope you all get the game modules, if you haven't already, then it will be easier for you to use as well. So there you go. Okay, so we did that. Let's do the stat dictionary. Again, 12 usages. And stat. Copy this. Got a couple more usages up here, and down here it looks like. And then some more on other scripts. Oh, a lot on this one. This is the editor window stats, so that would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? We're probably gonna have to find like the similar issue with the last window, this window. Probably gonna have more of those where we're not calling true on the recompute logic. So that'll come later, though. I think we've confirmed that's probably working. So we can keep doing this, finish up what we're doing, and then go from there. So condition will have 8 places where it needs to be updated. One here, way down here at the bottom. So this can be condition. Now, should it be objects of type, or should it be game module objects of type? Because really it's not, you can't, well, actually you probably could get, no, it has to be a module scriptable object. So it has to be one of my stuff. So it should be game modules objects of type, maybe? I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I can get this wrong and I want to get it right. Objects of type might imply that you could put, you know, oh, animation, audio clip, etc. And that's not the case. So maybe game modules of type would make more sense. Let me know what you think. Okay, lookup table. Lookup table is a thing, but let me see. It doesn't have a type. I don't use type, but I guess it could. Because it is it module scriptable object? So it does technically have a type. I just don't display it in the input here. But since we're not using it, it doesn't matter, because now we can use the same code. So quest condition. We can use the same code for all of these, so we don't have to worry about adding it here, which is something that we would have had to do if we didn't refactor and include generics. Quest reward, this isn't being used yet. Loot box of type, there's 1. So we'll find that error here. I'll call it loot box. And then loot items. It doesn't look like we're using that anywhere. Okay, that's good. That was good. Now the question is, do we go even deeper? And I think the answer is going to be yes. And say, instead of loot items array, we just say compute array, or game modules array, and make this essentially the same thing. So instead of calling quest array, we call game modules objects. So let's refactor this again first, this name. Instead of objects of type, what's it telling me? Cognitive, yeah. We're going to refactor this to be game module objects of type. And then this one's going to be game module objects. And to make this more clear that this refers to this, we're going to put that there. This is the method that is called, which will get data from the objects of type dictionary, or and add new values or update them when needed. All right, so that's going to be connected there. And then we're going to do something similar. So if we take this, we're going to just copy it. Let's put it up here. So this is going to be all the objects of a specific game modules type. So T type will be a string here. And then instead of a dictionary, all we really need is this. So this is going to be less complex of a dictionary. And instead of objects of type, we're just be game modules objects, and this is going to be game module objects of type. That's going to be singular module, game module objects of type. Okay, and then compute array is going to have an option here for recompute. So bool recompute equals false. And instead of compute array, we're going to call this game module objects. And then you put in the types of game module objects, stat, etc. will give you all the stat objects. I have to turn on the heater. It's not cold outside. I mean, the air is cold outside, but the sun has been quite warm. As I've been going outside. My weather app isn't loading up. I'm taking a break right now by looking at the weather. But the weather app isn't loading. What if I turn off my Wi-Fi, turn it back on, or deconnect from Wi-Fi, reconnect? That worked. Yeah, it's 55 out. So it is chilly, 55 Fahrenheit. It's chilly, but the sun, when it's out, is nice. But I guess it's cloudy right now. The sun's not coming in, so yeah. Ooh, there's some good cold days coming up. Oh, wow. Yep. All right. Okay, so it's going to be very similar to down here. The first thing we need to do is say cache this. Yeah, we'll cache that. Modules object type. And then similar to this, if we already have it in our system and we're not recomputing, then we can just return it. And we need to update this. And we'll update this. And we'll update this. All right, so we're looking at game module objects, try get value, that type, found dictionary, and not recompute. So I think, I don't know if it matters which direction it goes, but maybe it does. Maybe if we say not recompute first, then it won't even do the next one. I don't know if that, what did I just do? Interesting. Okay, maybe I have to put that first. All right, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. So if we've found the dictionary, if we aren't recomputing, and we found the dictionary key, then return the value. So this is just going to be return found dictionary.value. Return found dictionary. Try get value. Oh, and then as t. Cast that to t. T. Why is this different? Ah, because we need to say that T is module scriptable object. That's why. Okay. So now we can cast it to whatever type we put in there. And that's what we're getting back. All right. So, however, if we either didn't find it or we're not, or we are recomputing, then we have to do something else. So this is where we need to get the stuff. So everything else says, okay, we need to get the stuff, and that this is getting the stuff right here. So again, this is going through the asset database, finding all the assets of that type, stat, item, object, etc. Then for each one, load the asset at path based on that GUID. So get the GUIDs, load the assets, and add them, and then all items is the thing we're adding. All objects, we'll call it, since we're using the word object. I think that's okay. All right, so that's where we did it. Nope, this is where we did it here. So the next part is just essentially all of this, redoing this up there. So the next one is saying, okay, found dictionary is null if we are not recomputing. So so on this one, we will say, so found dictionary is not null. Well, this doesn't even happen then. Right? Because we didn't find the dictionary. There's only one level deep. We didn't find it, so we need to add it. So that doesn't happen. Oh, wait a minute. I see. So found dictionary is null if we are not recomputing. If it's not, then we need to add the new array. And then, okay, got it. So we are found it and we are recomputing. So do the recompute, then we'll update it. Okay, there we go. Found dictionary, game module object. Where's this? What do we call it? Module object type. Equals new all objects. Is that not right? Found dictionary equals all objects and return all objects. Okay. Why is this not? Oh, I see. So we're not actually... Okay. So this is really going to be game modules objects type equals all objects, and then return all objects. Okay. And what's this? Okay. And what is this? Okay. What is going on? Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I've got to read a thing about work. So in my day job, there's something about the Turkish earthquakes in Turkey and Syria too. Syrians need help too. They're suggesting here that there's going to be 100,000 people will be dead and 14 million people affected. 100,000. That's like the Christmas Day tsunamis from what, 2004? This is 2005, something like that. Let's see. Okay, let me brainstorm real quick. Give me just 1 second. There's more work involved than we thought last year for Ukraine, but it is worth it if the Ukraine works this as well, then it's a fair amount easier as we know the process. Um, mm-hmm. All right. All right. Sorry about the delay. I replied. Maybe we'll get something going for the folks in Turkey. What a shame, right? I live in a earthquake area, and we always talk about the big one in California, right? And there haven't been that many large earthquakes. In 110 years, we had like 3 that I can know of that have affected larger amounts of people, including, of course, San Francisco way back in the day, but 1908. But yeah, we always talk about it, but the buildings are made nicely here, and the buildings in Turkey, a lot of them were quite old. Jeez. Yeah. Whenever we do have earthquakes, I joke, you know, because they're usually just like they rumble a little bit, and you're like, oh, that was kind of fun. Nobody got hurt, nothing fell. It's like a little roller coaster. But, yeah. What a shame. All right. Where were we? Get the mind back on track. Let me pour some coffee. Pour some coffee in this cup, and then I'll drink it. Pour some coffee in this cup for the caffeine. All right. That's not as hot as it was. Okay, so we get the objects. So it's not null, which means we did find it. So we just need to update the value and then return the value. Yeah, because if we find it and we aren't recomputing, then we just return it. If we find it and we are recomputing, then we update. Okay, that works. Okay, and then this means we recomputing. If we didn't find it and we're recomputing, then we have to just add it here. So this should be simple enough. It's going to be game module objects dot add module objects type and all objects, and then return all objects t all objects. So basically add it and then return all objects, and otherwise we are recomputing. We aren't recomputing, but we didn't find it. So really, this is the same. So let's just write this out. So regardless of whether we are recomputing or not, we didn't find it. So it has to be added, and therefore it will be empty if we don't compute it. And generally, I think users would expect the value to be added correctly when added. So pretty much that's what we're doing, right? So essentially we are saying, okay, cache, get the string. If we already have it and we're not recomputing, then just return it. That's going to be a very common outcome for the use case of just get the objects, get all the objects, get all the objects. At the beginning of the operation, the caching phase, you'd say recompute equals true. And then if recompute was true, then it's going to call this, because yes, we found it and recompute true. If we didn't find it, though, it doesn't matter what happens. If we didn't find it, whether recompute or not, we just need to add it and add it with some value and then return that value. So the first time you ever call this, it will always return a value. All right. Which means, okay, so we'll say this dictionary caches all the game module objects of various types: stat, quest, condition, etc. This is the method to call to get all objects of a T type, i.e. game module objects stat, and optionally choose to recompute, often during a caching phase, or not. All right, that's good. This is good. And do you know why this is good? Because now that we've done this and that, quest array goes away. So we're going to comment it out just to test it out for now. But essentially, instead of quest array, we're going to say game module objects of quest, type quest. And that's going to give us the exact same thing with the built-in caching, because now this goes away too. And you can see where we're probably going next is do the types, right? We're going to cache that too. We're going to do the exact same thing. So we'll see the errors down here. There should be a few. All right, the errors down here, and we just do that. Why is this? Oh, it's private. Oh, we should make it public then. All right. In fact, while we're there, this can be var. I like to update things as I go along. When I see things I would usually change, like making that var instead of the type. Again, there's going to be bugs where we need to add true here to cache it. So now if we go to our quests, we can try to elicit some of these bugs. Yep, there we go. Oh, well, this is not expected. Game modules utility 68. Cast is not valid. Interesting. What if we do quest condition? Do we now get the error on the quest reward array? If we do, then nope. So I guess we have to do that? No. It says we don't need to. Invalid cast exception. Specified cast is not valid. Let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna check this. So why is this specified cast not valid? What we are trying to cast it to quest condition. Quest condition is a module scriptable object. Why might this be invalid? Maybe this is an opportunity to talk to our good friend. We haven't talked to our good friend yet. Chat GPT. So, ooh, look, there's a button here. My current plan is free. $20 a month. No, not yet. Not yet. Sorry, ChatGPT. You're not getting me quite yet. But soon, maybe. You never know. This is kind of cool. All right, so we're going to say... okay. In this method, the return is giving an error. Invalid cast exception should spell it right. Specified cast is not valid. And we'll give the return. Why might that be? Error message occurs when you attempt to cast an object to a type that is not compatible with it. In this case, the problem is likely the elements in all objects array are not of type T. To resolve, you can check to ensure that each element in the all objects array is the correct type before casting it. One way to do this is use the is operator. Okay, let's see. What do I do that right here? I thought. We're finding all assets of type T. So they really should be T. So let's try something. If that, then else, Elsa, frozen. So if that is T, no. One more. What is this? Use null check instead of a type check succeeding on any not null values. What would that look like? Compare with null. If it is T, debug.log, it is type. Else, debug.log, warning, not type. Hot dog, not hot dog. It is type. Alright, so it is type, yet it still says that. So I wouldn't think it would be not the type because we are, after all, finding it like this. Oh, I see. Okay. Let's see if that works. We were saying module scriptable object. Yep, there we go. There we go. So that was the issue. We were saying module scriptable object here when we could have just said T, and then this casting doesn't need to happen. That's nice. We aren't wizards, so less casting is easier. Get it? Hold on, let me see. All right. Logistics for a last-minute campaign to raise money to help out folks in need. God, I can't even imagine. What a shame. That's all I have to say. Is what a shame. All right. So that worked. We were able to update that. Next step. I was just typing on my phone. I don't like using the phone. My eyes are blurry now. Am I just getting old? I don't think so. I think it's just the phone screen is really tiny. Maybe I do need a bigger screen phone. I've got the iPhone 12 mini because I like smaller phones. I don't like big phones. But the screen is pretty small. I could raise the size of the font, but that would mean I am getting old because all the old people have larger fonts on their screens. Like my mom. She's old. 79. All right. So we were able to do this for the quest. And so... and we were able to see it working here, I believe. Yeah, it should. I don't see why it wouldn't be working, really. So let's now do it for Blackboard. All right, we're going to do it here. And this is going to be game module objects type Blackboard. Note. No. Blackboard values. Array. Blackboard values. Blackboard values. Okay. What I like about this is it means I can create any type of game module object types I want, and it will all just work, which is fancy and something I kind of like. We got to do that. Okay. Okay, so this is a do cache, so I'm going to say true here because if we're doing a cache, then we want that to be true. Yeah. We're going to update this one too. Lookup table and true for that as well. So we can already get ahead of that one. All right. Blackboard. All right, this is going to be mastery levels. Specifically plural, that's important because there is a mastery level, but mastery levels is different. Why is... Okay. And look, all these we can do. Item object, item attribute, stat, condition, lookup table, and loot box. All true. All right, good. How fancy is that? By the way, don't forget to give it a like. I see a bunch of likes, but if you haven't yet, please give it a like. I appreciate it. This is one of the first streams where absolutely no one has said anything, and you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. It's perfectly fine. Mastery levels array, condition, item attribute, item object, stat, Interesting. I don't know. Oh, that's okay. That's fine. It works, so I'm not changing it for now. Oh, there were a lot of these. Cash means true. Hey, if I sing really well, do I get a strike, content strike? Because I'm so damn good at singing. Luckily, I don't need to worry about that, do I? Probably not. Alright. Okay, mastery level. We did that. Item object. Yeah, this one, and then we do this and do item object. And we'll copy it and find all the places where it's bugged out now. Item attribute. Let me check this Slack again. Alright. Got a whole bunch there, and we got another one down here. This one had a lot, didn't it? And false means I was... The original version, I specifically didn't set the value there because I wanted to find instances of it. But now we can have it set to be false by default. Who is this colleague of mine? She's from here, but I'm guessing by her name that she may be Turkish. That would make sense. Alright, next one is... Where's the next one? Let's close the others to the right. And the next one's going to be... item object, item stat, probably. So, stats array. And and then cached stat. There's going to be a lot of this one. Stat is used a lot of places. I think. So, oh yeah, there's a lot of this one. Do all of these need to be true? Some of them do. We're saying cache, so if the keyword cache is there, then probably needs to be true. Okay. That was a lot of those. That's 12 of the 20. Alright. One more on this one. Yes, down here. Getting a better hang of generics these days, which is very nice. As Jason Storey said, generics are complicated and hard to understand, and they can be a little hard to understand. So yeah. Alright. All right. Next one. Let's close these others to the right and do condition. 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 Yep, you're welcome. I'll get all the songs that are in my head will go into your head if you know them. If you don't know the song, condition, then you don't know it, and that's fine. You're just as well. But if you do know it, then maybe it'll get in your head too, so you can share in my experiences. Refactorer on the roof. Does that work? That's clunky. That doesn't work. I take it back. Refactorer on the roof doesn't. It's too clunky. Conditions. Close other tabs. Next one is lookup table. Cached lookup tables. All right, we can just get rid of that and see where the errors are. Lookup table. And that should be it for those. Next one will be quest condition. Quest condition. Right. We can do this one while we're here. Quest reward. Ooh, my heater turned off and now it's quiet. Close. So they're almost done with this step, and then we'll move on to the next one. close tabs to the right. Now cached quest rewards. We have a few usages here, so we will get some errors. Here's one of them, quest reward. Nope, not repository, reward. Okay. And it looks like the other two are right here. And we don't need to call out false. Okay. Okay, cached loot boxes. Loot box. Okay, almost done. Next one, last one, loot items. There are other types, but I just haven't done this for those types. Loot items. And that one is plural. And do we have any other usages? Yes, a couple. Okay. All right. Oh, there's a cache, so we're going to say true. Okay. And so now you can see we're getting shorter. Stat has a lot of different things. The stats got all sorts of trainable stats, and they're going to have some special stuff just for itself, because there's trainable stats, there's modifiable stats, and there's use cases for those. But for types, everything, all of these objects have an object type, as an object name and an object type. So what we also need to cache is essentially the names and the types. And so we will do the same pattern here, I believe. Let's see. And we're going to put these now down here, lower on the totem pole. Is that a phrase okay to say, lower on the totem pole? The dictionary caches all the game objects of various types. And so this is going to cache all the types, all the object type strings from game module objects of the various types. So dictionary, then a string array, and it's going to be game module object types. And this is going to be string. And okay, this is a method to call, get all the types of T. So in this one, this is going to be slightly different because we're not going to do all of this. We don't need to do all of this. What we need to do is say, if we're recomputing, then recompute the list. Otherwise, just get the types from that list that already exists. So we will say, if recompute, then we're going to do something else, but we'll return if we recompute. So if we're recomputing, actually, let's see. So we're going to call game module objects. So var objects equals game module objects of type T, and pass in recompute. Dot select x dot object type dot distinct dot to array, why is this ambiguous? Oh, we have to change this. Game module object types. Now, when we call game module objects, does this alphabetize them? Oh, no, it doesn't. It should. We should add that. So I want to make sure that all the game modules are organized by type or alphabetized by type, then the name. So if for stats, you might have armor stats, weapon stats, magic stats. It would be then armor stats first, then magic stats, then weapon stats, and then each one of those sections would be alphabetized by their things. I think that's the most, for me at least, cognitively simple way of doing it when you're looking at a long list. So we need to make sure that happens here when we find all the assets here, and then we get all the assets, and then we need to make sure we order the assets. And so all assets equals all assets dot order by x object type, or x dot object type dot then by x dot object name dot to array. All right, so by object type then object name alphabetically. All right, so now that will give us the right type. And so in this one, down here, all we really have to do is return this, which means get all of them and recompute it if we're recomputing, otherwise don't. And then select all of their object types distinct to array. We don't have to alphabetize it because it's already alphabetized. Let's confirm with ChatGPT something. Okay, if the array game modules objects T is already alphabetized, would this need to be ordered by object type as well, or will it remain alphabetized? I think it's going to remain. Oh, it will be lost, it says. Okay, so it's good to re-alphabetize it then. Order by x dot object. Order by x. Order by x. Just to confirm, I guess. And then we just return that. I mean, that's all we have to do. So we can do this, I think. But we do have to cast this then as T array. No, that doesn't work. Oh, these will return a string. Game module types of that type is returning a string. Okay, so that's pretty cool because that's just one line, 2 lines if you include the caching that we do. Wait. We didn't cache it. Do we need to cache it? We should probably cache it, right? I think we should cache it. All right, so we're going to undo this a little bit. Not much. return that in the end. Okay, so we are going to say if, so we have to find it first, so we're going to just, we'll type this out so I can get more memory, muscle memory in my fingertips. So if game module object types dot has try get value, try get value of the key, which is going to be the type of, which is here, type of T string, and we called that earlier modules type object, modules object type rather. So var modules object type equals type of T dot to string. We keep repeating this too. So what we could do is say, make a private static string type name T and return that. We can make that public too. And we call it modules object type name, which is modules object type. Yeah, name. And then here we can just do that. And then we save that for later use as well. Don't think we use that. We do. Okay. So now we can use it outside of the script too, which is nice because I think there's going to be use cases where instead of when I make a header or something, I can just make a generic header now rather than a specific header where I have to spell out the type. All right, so we're going to try get value of modules objects type out var found dictionary. So if we find it, then we will, and we're not recomputing, then we'll just return it. Game module objects, object types, module object type. So if we have it cached and we aren't recomputing, then return the value. Otherwise, this next part means we either don't have it cached or we are recomputing. So then we have to do this. We have to then say if found dictionary does not equal null, then we're going to say game modules object types module object type equals this. So var values equals that, and then we'll say equals values, return values. And otherwise, we're going to add it and then return values. So game module object types add module object type and values and return values. All right. We did find it and are recomputing, so update then return new values. Add it to the dictionary, then return new values. All right, that should do that trick. And then that means that anything that uses game modules object types and you're trying to get a string of that can be use this instead. So cached quest types right here will be updated. Now that one didn't seem to have any uses. So there you go. Let's just do the rest. This one does I am object types. Game module object types. Game module object types of item object. Type item object. And these are going to be pre-alphabetized, which is nice. In some cases, I might need to change my other code because I may have alphabetized it in some cases, but not others. And that's part of the thing that frustrated me. I was like, wait, I don't want to keep doing this. And oftentimes, this is what I found as I have been learning my own game dev journey and stuff. If I keep repeating stuff, it means I could probably refactor and do a generic version. In most cases, that's seemed to be the case. It's not always easy, and it's not always clear how. It takes some mental gymnastics for the generics. All right. So we did that. Now I think it's time to put some bigger headers up here because it's getting kind of crowded. And I think we can remove this because we're going to have this was going to be good enough. This is going to be game module object types string array, and this one will be game module objects of type. That's going to be a game module object array. And this one is going to be game module objects. And it's getting game module object array. All right. So Blackboard, this is Blackboards of type. We did that. Mastery level names. We'll have to do names still. Did I never update this one? Oh, I didn't do item attribute, I guess. Well, let's do these one at a time. Item game module objects. Nope. Module objects of item attribute. I'm just going to delete this in a second, but that's okay. Should be good there. Close other tabs. And then the item attribute types. There's going to be a whole bunch of these. 23 errors, it said. So this will be game module object types of type item attribute. They're all in one place. See, before I was keeping each one of these editor things was keeping its own cache. The benefit of this change, another benefit, there are many, another benefit is that now the cache isn't going to be saved here. You can see all these item attributes of type, etc. We're not going to be doing that because this is now going to end up using the other thing once we refactor all these. So that means that they don't need to keep their own local cache. They can just rely on the cache of the game module's utilities, which is great. They can just drive it instead of keeping their own. All right, that should be that. Next one is stat types, 12 usages. Stat. Okay. Refactor Friday. Close tabs to the right, and so now we'll do the next one. Again, some of these are going to be replaced, but others aren't for the stat one. So this is going to be condition types now. Probably test at some point too. Make sure I didn't muck it up. Saying muck it up is the same as saying fuck it up, right? I mean, let's be clear. Does it really matter, the word, or is it just the intent? I think if you're trying to be funny, saying, I mucked up might be funny, but, you know, for people who, I don't swear, so I'm going to say, you mother father. You betcha I was gonna say it. Yeah, I mucked it up this time. I really snarfled it. Snarf nuggets. You know, it's just not the same. So this one can be deleted. This one can be deleted. Doesn't look like we're using those at all yet. Okay, this one's getting used once, so we'll find the error. Loot box. Okay. And loot box types. Look at that. Check this out. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Whoa. Delete. 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 Now it's only 288 lines. This was like 700 lines before. These can all be changed too. All right. Honestly, these can be made smaller too, I bet. Let's ask ChatGPT if this can be made smaller. We'll have to be careful though with whatever ChatGPT says. We have to make sure we understand it. Can this be made shorter? Because ChatGPT in this kind of process will oftentimes make it shorter but lose nuance. And I wish this window would be expandable, but oh well. It doesn't even expand if we expand our window here. The code can be made shorter. The code can be made shorter. The code cannot be made shorter. Let's be clear about that. Hey, this is a family-friendly show. Alright, let's see what it's doing. It's saying modules, objects, is that? Okay, recompute. So it's changing this up here. Oh, wow, this is shorter. Alright, let's see. Let's see if this is shorter. It's definitely shorter if it works. Let's see. It's saying if recompute or and we will temporarily, maybe temporarily, comment that out just to get rid of that other error we were seeing. Okay, so if we're recomputing or game module objects try get value out all objects. So if we don't have all objects or we're recomputing, that makes sense, then we will find all objects, add them to the list, no, we did that error before and we got an issue with it, so we won't do that. Nope. Nope. Okay, so that's fine. Add them and then all objects order by, and then return that, otherwise return that. That seems right. And then we can even invert the if. Oh, that doesn't make it as pretty though. I think that is easier to read than this in this case. That's actually the same. If we're not recomputing and we found it, then return it. Otherwise, compute set the value. Oh, this is the same as adding? Let's ask. If the dictionary game module objects does not have the key modules object type, will this add it? Yes. Oh, I didn't know that. See, I learned something new from ChatGPT. Oh, you can't even see the whole window. I apologize. Learned something new from ChatGPT. Do you guys use ChatGPT? Let me know in the chat, since nobody's chatted yet this entire time. It's been 2.5 hours and nobody's chatted a single chat. Makes me nervous. Makes me think you're all robots. Just kidding. I know you're not a robot. Most of you. Anyways, so I learned something new. So that is shorter. I'm going to keep my code here for a while just in case, because I have learned that sometimes ChatGPT leads you astray. But in this case, this does seem correct to me. It looks correct. The logic's right. This is the logic I was thinking of when I wrote it, but my brain wasn't going there, so I wrote it out more, lengthy. But let's do a similar things with all this, because this one's quite long. Okay. Thanks. Can this be made shorter? Yes. A shortened version. And never copy the code from ChatGPT. Ha! Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jack. Always a help you are. I gotta say, I love it. It's of course it's early days for it, but holy cow. I mean, just the fact that you can just get these answers really quick, that you can get this feedback, it's like they just need to make it's a rubber ducky. That's all it is. It's a rubber ducky. Speaking of rubber duckies, I ordered some rubber duckies on Amazon after the game dev show where we were talking about rubber duckies. I ordered some. I think I ordered a dragon rubber ducky and a knight rubber ducky, or maybe just the dragon because the knight had shipping costs and I wasn't going to pay $6 for shipping because, come on, it's a rubber ducky. All right. I thought that would be neat. Okay, this is short. It's still lengthy, but it's shorter. So as I said, never copy it, but we're about to copy it. But we're going to go through it line by line too. So we'll do this, and then we will comment this out. And maybe it's only temporarily, but we'll comment that out. And then we'll go through line by line and see what we're doing. So this is the one that will get all the objects of a specific type. All right, so we have that. We got that. Check if the key exists in the dictionary and try to retrieve the value. I love that added comments too. Or is that just my comments that it's repeating? No, it's not repeating mine. It might be doing something. Either way. All right, so check if the key exists in the dictionary and try to retrieve the value. So again, so if game modules object of type get the, so if we find the dictionary and, because this is a dictionary with a dictionary, this is Inception style. So if we found the dictionary and we found the value of object type and we're not recomputing, then return that. Otherwise, get all objects of type T, our new array. Okay. If the key exists in the dictionary and the new array it to the child dictionary, and return T new array. And it looks like we can get rid of this and this and this. Okay. So the key exists in the dictionary. That's the main dictionary. And then add this or update it either way and return it. If is this alphabetized? Do we need to alphabetize it? Game module objects of type. I guess we should alphabetize this because we are doing that. So order by x object name, just to be sure that that actually happens. And then if recompute is true and the key exists in the dictionary, update the values. So this is agnostic to whether we're recomputing. Or I guess it means we are recomputing. And we've found the dictionary. Okay, yeah, I see. So now if we're recomputing and it contains the key, that okay, so it already contains a key and we're recomputing, so we just need to update it and return that. Which, wait a minute, found dictionary. It might. I don't know if it squeaks. I think it'd be neat if it squeaked fire, right? It probably like has a hole at the bottom like a normal rubber ducky, so it might squeak. I don't think it has an actual squeaker in it. So this part is confusing me. Let's see. So found dictionary means I found the type dictionary, where value is the specific object type thing. So this is saying we found the dictionary, so just update that and return the new array. If we get down here, it means we didn't find the dictionary. So that means it doesn't contain the key. Modules of type. Right? Because if it did contain the key, then we would have found the dictionary. So that means that this is slightly off. So we didn't find the dictionary, so we need to add the dictionary which is going to be game modules objects of type, modules objects type equals new dictionary. String that is going to be object type and new array. No? Modules, scriptable, object array, new array. No? Var new dictionary equals new dictionary string modules scriptable object array Why is that not working? And cast array equals that new array. New array. Am I creating the dictionary incorrectly? What's wrong with this code? Oh. So it's saying new dictionary equals new dictionary string that, and then new dictionary dot add object type and okay, new array, and then do that. Nope. Do nope. Oh, okay, I need double curly brackets to do what I wanted to do. And then maybe this, whoops, can be modules scriptable object array, like that. No? Nope, because I said new. I don't want new. No, okay. Okay. Our module array equals new array. So we can cast maybe this like this, and then say that. And it's still giving the same error here. or warning, really. It's not an error. And that's going to change this, but then all of these get have to be recast to T, and this is still giving me, yeah, okay. Okay, then I guess we might have to revert later, because that other bug we found earlier might pop its ugly head up again. Okay. Modules arrays, new array. I think we can just do that then. Okay, so new dictionary. So the key exists in the dictionary. In this case, the key does not exist in the dictionary. Key does not exist in the main dictionary. So we must populate it. Regardless of recompute, we will recompute so that the new value is not empty, if possible. So that's very similar to down here. Wait a minute, 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 wait a minute. Okay. What is this getting? This is getting the objects of a specific type. Found dictionary of that. New array is the objects of that type. So in this case, we're saying put the objects of that type into there, and then modules object type. So that's kind of the same as doing this, right? If I did that. But we would still have to do this, because otherwise this would be null. I see. So that's doing that there, and then we return new array. What was this trying to do? If recompute is true and the key exists in the dictionary, update the value. So if we get this far, it means we did not find the dictionary. Let me think. So we found the dictionary and we found the value, then we can just, and we're not recomputing and do that. But if we didn't find the value, then we have to recompute. Oh my gosh. You want me to do a flowchart? Okay. It's in my head. Value, not recomputing, found all the values, so return it. If we didn't find this value or we didn't find this value, then either way we're recomputing. But if we did find the first value, then all we have to do is set that new array to the object type in that first value and return it. If we didn't find the first value, then we need to add the first value and then add the object type. There's no world in which we have the object type but not the first value. Yep. And so essentially we're doing both. If we did find it and it doesn't have the value, then it will be added here. It will either be added or updated, either way. So this should be good. I think this is good then. We'll keep this other code here just in case, and we'll say chat GPT code. The purpose, it gets all the game module's objects of a specific type and of a specific game module type. So stat, item object, item attribute, quest, etc. Each one of those can be grouped into object types. So you can think of like hero quests or side quests, helmets, boots, swords, or weapons, I guess. Those could be all object types. And so in this one, we're going to be like, hey, get me all game module object of type stat, and then main stats, hidden stats, etc. And the option to recompute it in a caching flow. And it'll be saved here. And the first time, if it's not there yet, then it's going to save it and cache it. After that, it's up to the user, me usually, because these are mostly going to be used for editor scripts, to cache it at the right time. Yeah, so this should do everything, I think, because there's really only a few options. Let me just walk it through one more time. Okay. If we have the dictionary and it has a value and we're not recomputing, then just return that value. That's going to be the most common use case. Then if it's not one of those, then we have to recompute, because if we don't have the value, then we have to compute it. If we are recomputing, then we have to compute it. If we don't have the main dictionary, meaning we've never even looked for anything of this type, then we have to recompute it. So we have to recompute it. But if we did find the dictionary, so let's say we're looking up stats of a various object type. If we found that, but we didn't do this or this, then it means that we just need to either add this because we didn't find the value of this specific object type, or we're recomputing. In both cases, this will do that. And then we return the new array. And if we didn't find the object dictionary, then it just means we need to add a new object dictionary of that stat type, or this would be stat. Otherwise, add and then add stat, and that would be done. Yeah, so that should be good. Let's just make sure we don't have any errors. Look, I've got this right here. This is the error we faced earlier, so I might have to go back and update it. Yeah, it looks like. Okay, so this cannot be T. This is going to be... Can we return that? Instead of T? Ooh, it looks like we got more errors now, so maybe not. No, okay. We don't want to do that then. Yeah, we want to return the type that we called, so no. Undo, whoops, not undo. There, undo here. Yeah, we want to return the type that we called, but the reason why was this. before, I think. Let's get back to where we were. Okay. Specify cast is not, and this is on here for each quest in game module object quest. What did we do earlier? Was that the change? I think that may have been the change. Let's see. No. What if we just return... No, we have to return it as a T, because we want to be as T. Game module objects quest condition. I don't think we have to cast this here. Quest condition array. So this is the answer it gave us earlier, which wasn't really the right answer, because we already did that in our find assets. We'd gain type of T. Don't think that solves it, but maybe? Nope. I misspelled populate? Probably. Well, yes, here. Did I misspell it somewhere else too? Okay, let's do a check here. Let's comment out those and uncomment our original. Either way, this is going to be up here. And let's see, does the error go away? Does. Okay. So what does this do that that does not do? In this case, we'll return all objects. All objects is that oh, interesting. Okay. I guess that's fine. Okay, it's doing the same thing. So in our one that worked, we had this as T. Okay, so that's not the difference. Let me just remove those. I shouldn't have even added that 2 and all those. That wasn't the difference. Huh. All right. Let me try to do this another way. We will comment out theirs, but we will recreate theirs instead. So this first part is saying if not recompute or we have all the objects, that's fine. If we're not recompute and we have all the objects, so if we have that, then we're returning that. All objects or found dictionary. Otherwise, saying basically get them here. And that's reworking this a little bit. And it's all saying all objects goods, find all type, and then all objects equals module scriptable objects goods dot length. We can do that T for now. We'll adjust that later. And that's essentially doing all of this at once. And then no, it's not. I'm getting confused here. Okay, let me just go back to my version. We don't have to make it smaller. Might take a repeat at this another time. Okay. So let's confirm this one's working, and then we can say chat GPT version cast error, not sure why. Okay. Can we click around? We can. All right. That's good. We'll save that zombie code for a while. And okay, that's fine. Maybe this can be made more shorter. Let's just ask. Can this be made shorter? Okay, so we're gonna see what it's doing. It's saying this, that's fine. And it's saying if try get values, outward values, and not recompute, which is exactly what I said. Then return values. Oh, wait, it's slightly different. It's calling this values. So we're gonna do this a little bit different. We're gonna save our version and then put, just making modifications. So this is saying try get value module of type out var values and return values. And then values equals, otherwise values equals recompute select order by to array and game modules it's basically saying the same thing. Game modules types adding that is, these are the same thing as we found out earlier, right? Okay, and it's basically saying add module object types values is the same as saying this equals values. It adds it if it's not there. If it is there, then it will override it. If it's not there, it will add it. And that is that. So that is shorter. Just see if there's any random bugs. I'm just going to click around to some things. All right. There's some stuff I need to redo, apparently. All right, so that part's working. I gotta go pee real quick. I'm sorry. I just have to do it, so you won't be able to hear me. I'm back. Feel much better. Much more empty. Oh, look at this. That's different. Why is these? Huh. I don't know why those are. Create a new IAM attribute. Test. Seems to work. That part. Need to update that, but yeah, it seems to work. Not sure what's going on with those ones. These are older demo ones, so I don't know. I don't think that bug is related though to what we're doing here. Okay, but I'll still keep my code for a while just to make sure that ChatGPT didn't lead us astray. So now let's do the same for game module object names string. And we'll do this object names. And we're going to do this two different ways. We're going to do a names where it's just the names, and then we're going to do one where it's the names with the type. And that's I'm going to use that for the drop-down list, the pop-up list that come up here. Object names. And object names. And it's going to be very similar to this one. So first we're going to get that type. And then try get it from names. And if we haven't, we're not recomputing, then return it. Otherwise, connection lost. Get it back. Come back, connection. It didn't tell me my battery was almost dead. Oh my gosh. Luckily I've got a laptop, but let's see. It doesn't, well, it of course doesn't tell me if the battery's dead or not because it's not connected right now. Okay, let's see. Well, that'll destroy a stream if my stupid Mac mouse button. Why have they not put in the freaking charger in the front, right? Like, it's been a decade and everyone makes fun of them for it, but they just refuse to put the charger in the front. So I'm charging it for like 5 seconds here, you know, and then gonna see if it's at 0% connected. Percentage is 1%. All right. Well, that changes everything. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to try to finish this one thing up right here real quick, and then I'm going to go get that new Harry Potter game. How about that? Okay, let me quickly do this before my 1% of battery runs out. Modules, where was I? Names, try get, recompute, return the values. Okay. Otherwise, select object name. Order by X, distinct. Oh, interesting. We don't want to reorder this one. We'll put a note here. Note. This will still be ordered by object type, then object name. So order by object X, object type. I think it will still be okay, but that's fine. I think it will work. If I get wonky things, then I'll come back. And then game object model, object names, values. So that should be the same. And so modules, object type, name. Oh yeah, this one. So get mastery level names array is essentially doing that. Get the mastery levels, get their names. So this is what we're replacing here. Mastery levels. And we're going to find some errors and get our game module object names in there before my 1% battery. Mastery levels. Alright. This is on editor window stats. Let's quickly look at our stats. We'll look at some one that can be none of these can be. Alright, well it seems to be working. This is what the list is going to look like. I'm going to refactor this too, but this is what kind of will look like. Alright, that seems to be working. I have to stop the stream though, because my stupid mouse battery is at 1% and needs to be charged. So I'm going to go download the Harry Potter game and play that while my battery on my mouse charges. So thank you all for hanging out. I apologize I didn't get to go and finish the Refactor Friday. I'll finish it tonight if I'm not playing Harry Potter. Maybe it's a good game. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Bye-bye. 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 Goodbye.